Hello. So we are now with Martina Watler, who happens to be my cousin, and she's here in Florida with me. And I let everyone kind of start off with the same question, Martina, and the question is so easy: Who you for?
Hi, everyone. So my name is Martina Watler. My father is Mark Watler, and my mom is Christina Watler.
Gotcha. So you recently came up to Florida, first year college student over at University of South Florida, USF. So you're right in my area. We know COVID here
Mhm.
is a lot. There's a lot of cases. Uh,
Yes.
what I want you to kind of share some of your experiences so far. You just came from Cayman where there was no COVID. Now you got
Yeah.
hear about some of the community cases, but you now came to a state, an area, living in an area where there's a lot of cases going on. What's that like for you?
Honestly, before I left Cayman, I was very nervous to come to the States, although I was keen just because, the in-person classes would be a new atmosphere, a new environment. It was very scary because I assumed that it would be very hectic here at university with COVID going on. Coming from a much smaller bubble, everyone is so protected. People that come in and out of the country is very controlled. And a majority of the country did have vaccines, but over here it is quite different because a lot of people don't really care about the safety of others at times. Some people here are quite selfish, so not many people wear masks, but just taking your own safety precautions to protect the community that you're in is very important. Even though many other people are not doing it, I think it's very important to just play your role. So yeah, it is quite different. COVID here is on a much larger scale, but there are still things that you can do to prevent or avoid attaining, COVID.
So you came here fully vaccinated, so you had that level of protection.
Mhm.
But when you came here and you came fully vaccinated, you know that there's, about half the population here fully vaccinated. Did that really make you nervous knowing that there's so much more virus here? Did that stop you from really going out and about enjoying your college experience?
So to be honest, not as much as I thought it would have. In Cayman, I was more afraid of coming to America just because I said, transmission of the virus is so much easier because not many people here have the vaccine, and it's just so much harder to control your, I guess, how much you're exposed to the virus because you never know who around you has it. But from my personal experience, I would say I don't necessarily restrict myself from going off campus, but I only go off campus once every other week just because there is a lot of work to do. So, a lot of us stay in the library, in the dorms. It's just me and my three closer friends. So we don't necessarily mix with other people. So it's not as difficult, I guess, just in my particular situation, just because I'm not used to going out all the time, especially in a foreign country. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I necessarily restrict myself, but I do take the safety precautions, which is very important, especially staying away from people who don't wear masks in particular.
And Cayman is going to be opening its borders at some point in time, not so
Mhm.
distant future. And there's a lot of people that are really afraid when that happens. What would be your message to them?
So personally, of course, I understand why many people back home would not want the borders to be open or why they're so afraid of it. But inevitably life will have to continue. We can't necessarily be overly afraid of the virus. We have to learn how to overcome it as a community. So I would just say back home, try your best to stay safe, take your safety precautions. Government should be putting regulations and guidelines in place for tourists and locals to abide by, just so that the community is safe and that the transmission isn't so, um, I guess, wide or overly growing. But I guess the last thing that you would want to do as a country is to go back in lockdown and to have to readjust to remote life again. So just make sure that if you have any symptoms, just get tested. Make sure you play your part in the community. If you need to quarantine, if you need to do what you need to do, just do it for the safety of your community and protect those around you. So
All right.
yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much for spending some time with me, Martina. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Okay, thank you.